did she have all 4 of her children with her?
I wouldn't call them children, I call them hellions, but
If my kids were so bad, you should have never opened your doors.
they started basically breaking stuff in my house.
Your daughter's a beast, bro. Are you serious?
Real people, real cases, real families in crisis. Relative Justice with Judge Rhonda Wills starts right now.
Ms. Gonzalez, you are suing Ms. Fndoyan, and Ms. Fndoyan is the mother of your brother's children, and you're here in my courtroom suing her today.
Yes,
Does your brother know you're here?
yes.
And how does your brother feel about the fact that you are suing the mother of his children?
He doesn't get into it. He feels that this is just between me and her, so he tries to mind his business as much as he can.
So he's like, I'm just staying out of this.
He don't like her. He don't like her. I'm sorry.
Okay, so why is it that your boyfriend does not get along with his sister?
Because she's money hungry. She always wants money. Every little thing. She'll do anything for some money. Money hungry.
So let me start with you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother's girlfriend, who's the mother of his children, she shows up at your house needing a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And why'd you let her stay?
Well, first of all, when I met Miss Fndoyan, she had 2 children. She had 2 little girls. She was pregnant with her third. The third I thought was supposed to be my nephew. It turns out that it was someone else's. So then
Mistakes happen.
she goes and she gets pregnant again.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Ms. Fndoyan, you were having your third child, which apparently Ms. Gonzalez and her brother thought was his biological child, and it wasn't?
No, it wasn't, because he was going back and forth,
And so were you.
yes, I was. Yes, I was. And was I sleeping with you?
Okay,
All right then.
so Ms. Fndoyan, you have this third child, and turns out he was not the father of that one.
Regardless of the situation, he was going to stick by me. He wanted to be with me. I wanted to be with him. And we put our past behind us and we started over. And that's when we had our child, our 4th child. Well,
Okay.
he claims my kids as his kids. So when we had our 4th child, we kind of broke off. We were going through stuff. I didn't have no place to stay. He didn't have a place to give me to stay. He was hopping houses to house, and so was I.
Okay, so basically, she arrives on your doorstep, Ms. Gonzalez. Did she have all 4 of her children with her?
Well, I wouldn't call them children, I call them hellions, but yes.
Like your daughter's any better. Like your daughter's any better.
Okay. Anyways, they come into my house. In the beginning, everything was good. They're normal children. I don't blame the children. I blame the parents.
Okay, so how big is your...
And you're so much of a better parent.
Hey, don't interrupt the judge, okay?
How big is your house?
I have a 2-bedroom, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a 2-bedroom house. And who lives at your 2-bedroom house?
Me, my daughter, and my husband.
Okay, so the 3 of you were living in your 2-bedroom house, and I take it 1 bedroom was for you and the other one was for your daughter. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And then Ms. Fndoyan shows up with her and her 4 kids.
Yes.
So why did you let them stay?
Because they're children. At the end of the day, I don't care what the situation is. My mom taught me it could be 30 of you in one house, but if there are a whole bunch of children, you let the children in. It doesn't matter what the situation is.
If my kids were so bad, you should have never opened your doors.
You give a children a place to sleep.
Okay, so Ms. Fndoyan, you said that you basically were homeless at this point.
I let her know that where I was staying at, I couldn't stay there no more. And I told her I'm in a process of getting my stuff together. I'm going to have my own house. I just need some help.
She begged me, Your Honor.
So Ms. Fndoyan.
And you could have said no.
Okay,
You could have said no.
So Ms. Fndoyan, where do you work?
Huh?
Where do you work?
I don't work. I actually had a job. I was working at several places, markets and stuff, food, supermarkets and stuff. And I told her, I lost my job. I needed help. I had money. I gave her a couple of dollars, and it's still not enough.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You still don't work?
I actually just got a job, recently. So I'm actually I got approved for the job. I start actually next week. But this whole time I've been on my own. I'm a single mother.
Is the father of your children working?
I don't keep contact with none of my baby fathers except for her brother. I don't know, he went MIA on me for the past couple of weeks.
Okay, so you don't know where the father of your children is.
And I'm not looking for him.
So you're not looking for him. I take it you're not getting any child support?
Nothing. I don't get nothing. I do this by myself, Your Honor. I do everything by myself, and it's like the little bit of help that she offered me help. And it's like, how you gonna sit here?
I did not offer, ma'am.
You offered me help.
I did not
offer. Okay, so Ms. Fndoyan,
I did not offer you.
Ms. Fndoyan, I'm
Ma'am,
gonna. I'd like to hear from Ms. Fndoyan. Ms. Fndoyan, so it was you, your 4 children, your baby daddy is nowhere to be found. You guys basically have nowhere to stay. So you take your 4 kids and you go over to his sister's house. And you show up at Miss Gonzalez's house. Tell me what happened next.
So I didn't just show up at her door. We were talking and I told them, like, listen, I'm going through a situation. I need help. I can't sit here and have my kids sleeping in hospitals, going house to house. You know, I also need help because I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get an apartment. I explained the whole situation to her. She was like, you know, I got you. You know, you come, we talk, we're going to settle this. You know, you're going to come, you're going to stay. Cool. Everything was good. Everything was good. But then it's like when I got there, like, not for nothing, she started treating my kids really bad. And she kept picking on them and told me, oh, you got to clean this.
So Miss Gonzalez, when they showed up and you have your 2-bedroom house with you, your husband, your daughter, where did you think you were going to put all 4 of these kids?
I didn't think about that ahead of time. I thought maybe, you know, the older girls could go sleep in my daughter's room. You know, she has like a little bunk bed. They can all figure that out there. The kids, I have playpens. You know, I'm used to having the kids around.
This is family. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Exactly, because that's how I grew up.
Okay, so you have a big heart.
And we did.
So you have a big heart, so you took them in.
Up next,
So how did you think she was going to come up with this money to pay you?
Because she always got money to look good. How you broke, but you look like that?
Yeah.
I do everything by myself, and it's like the little bit of help that she offered me help. And it's like, how you gonna sit here?
I did not offer, ma'am.
You offered me help.
I'd like to hear from Miss Fndoyan. You told Miss Fndoyan that she would have to pay you $450 a month in rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that true, Miss Fndoyan? You agreed to pay $450 a month in rent?
I agreed to give her a couple of dollars. I gave her
Okay, what's a
3
couple of
months
dollars?
I gave her 3 months worth of rent.
How much money did you give Miss Gonzalez in rent for the time that you and your children lived at her apartment?
Completely?
Yes.
I gave her $950.
$950. Okay,
gave
Miss
me rent for
Gonzalez,
3
is that
months.
true? Did she give you $950?
She gave me rent for 3 months.
She said it was okay.
Okay, so you believe you received 3 months of rent from her?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did Miss Fndoyan and her children live at your house?
She just moved out the beginning of last month.
Okay, so how long was that?
6 months?
So she lived with you a total of 6 months, and 3 months she paid you for, 3 months she's not paid you for.
Mm-hmm.
So she owes you 3 months of rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this. You know, you said this is family. I wasn't going to allow the kids to be out there without a place to live. They came and lived with me. You knew she wasn't working when you let her live there, didn't you?
Yes,
So
I
how
did.
did you think she was going to come up with this money to pay you?
Because she always got money to look good. You get your hair done, your nails done, you buy new clothes all the
yes,
time.
let me see those nails.
How you broke, but you look like that?
Yeah. You knew she needed help, and you agreed to help her.
Yes.
And you understood that she gave you all that she had. You understood that, right?
Yes.
But you're still saying she was a little short. She still owes you for 3 months of rent. Now, you also mentioned that when you had them come, you laid down rules and regulations. Tell me about those.
To others, it might seem crazy, but I don't like people in my house, so they weren't allowed any
Hard
friends.
to tell. Hard
Okay,
to
so
tell.
they couldn't have any friends over?
No, I
Hard
don't.
to
We
tell.
already got 5 children in the house and 3 adults.
And
My
she still
house
made
is
room
not
for
that
other
big
people.
to be having
She
her
made room for
friends
other
coming
men.
over.
Wait,
She
wait.
had a whole lot of fun, drunk nights. What happened?
That's my life.
And
Anyway.
Okay, so
I thought
Miss
you don't like
Fndoyan,
people.
That's my life.
tell me about men were over at the house. Tell me about that.
well, this lady has people going in and out her house. She's talking about me. I can't have company, but she done had men, women, all her friends, the whole block in her crib. And
Is that true? You entertain a lot?
No, ma'am. I have a side business. I bake at home, and when people come over, they come over to pick up their order.
You bake or you sell?
It's in the
You bake or
middle
you
of
sell
a
your butt?
pandemic. We got to figure out the way to
What
make
is
some
it?
money.
That's
is
true.
it?
Everybody had to get
What
their
you
hustle
doing?
on in the pandemic. That's very true. You said you laid down rules and regulations, and one of your rules was they couldn't have any friends over. What were your other rules?
She got to control her kids. There's a bedtime for the children. I don't like messes in my house, and if they make a mess, pick it up.
Okay, so did they follow those rules?
To an extent, until the damage started happening.
Up next,
They started basically breaking stuff in my house, breaking
Your
wall
daughter?
frames.
You mean your daughter?
Your children.
Your daughter. How many times your daughter broke the door?
Door
off the
frames
hinges?
broken.
Your daughter's a beast, bro.
Windows
Okay, Miss
broken.
Fndoyan.
If your plans are too big to squeeze into the back of a sedan, if your commute doesn't always include roads, if you want a new car starting under $30,000 MSRP, don't just get any car. Drive a Ford.
You got your bag? Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Come on.
Mom, all my friends can do it. Can you help me practice?
First, we have to get the one little bunny ear. Circle. Get one bunny.
Pull.
Did you just do it?
Yes.
You did it. Let me see. I gotta look.
A diaper this leak-free sets them free. Only Pampers Cruisers 360 have a 360 stretchy waistband for up to 100% leak-proof fit on every wild child. Pampers Cruisers 360, the #1 pull-on diaper.
What was the understanding about rent, food, utilities, bills? How was
Okay.
that going to be handled?
My rent was $1,300 a month. I told her, if you can at least help me with $450, there's 5 of you.
Okay, tell me about the damage that started happening.
Well, they started basically breaking stuff in my house, breaking
Your
wall
daughter?
frames,
You mean your daughter?
your children.
Your daughter.
Breaking, none of this happened before they walked in my house.
It was already loose.
None of this
How many
happened.
times your daughter broke the door?
Door
off the
frames
hinges?
broken.
Your daughter's a beast, bro.
Windows
Okay, Ms.
broken.
Fndoyan, I'd like to hear from Ms. Gonzalez. So you're saying that Ms. Fndoyan's kids caused all this damage in your house in 6 months?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have proof.
I'd like to see the photographs that you brought with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bailiff, I'd like to see the photographs. Okay, so the first photograph, it appears to be, is this your backyard?
Yeah, that's the backyard.
Did they
Those-
tear down the fence?
They tear down the fence. The kids leave the noodles out all over the place. There's wood
Wait a
shards
minute.
everywhere.
The kids actually tore down that section of the wood fence?
Listen, this is what I couldn't believe. I come home and I find this like this, and the only thing that's happening is these kids are in the backyard.
Did your kids tear down this wood fence?
No, let me tell you. Her daughter, she got a daughter. She's a big girl. She's not no little puny little kid. My kids are puny. My kids are all puny. They small, tiny. Her daughter is a beast. She starts climbing this. You see this? She starts climbing it. Are you serious? She starts climbing it. Okay, they broke a couple. I try to fix it.
You're saying her
It's her
daughter,
daughter.
you're
It's her
saying her
daughter.
daughter tore down the fence,
It's her, she
but
initiated
she's
it.
saying your kids tore down the fence.
It was her daughter too.
Okay.
Her daughter
We've
is
been living
big.
there
My
5
kids are
years.
this
So do we
small,
have any
Mama.
proof of which of the children or whether all of the children tore the fence down?
No, ma'am, we don't.
Okay. So the next photograph you brought with you.
Her daughter slams doors.
Okay, so her daughter did this one too, Miss Fndoyan?
You gotta see her daughter. Her daughter is hefty. Look at the mother. Look at the mother. The mother ain't little. So you should imagine how big her daughter is.
So you're saying your 4 kids didn't cause any
My
of this
4 kids
damage?
are 1, 2, 5, and 8. My 8-year-old is puny. Bones. Look at my hands. See how small they are? That's her hands. Little.
Okay, so Miss Gonzalez, what happened with your door frame here?
They keep slamming it. They're
daughter?
in and out. My daughter will be in the bathroom and they're pulling the door. We gotta use the bathroom. There's one
Both of
bathroom. One bathroom with all these people.
Okay, so how much did you pay for the broken door frame?
That one was $150.
$150.
Yeah, I think I have a breakdown here, Your Honor.
Okay, I'd like to see that, please.
Here goes the breakdown of, this is also the breakdown and the damages, and you can see that Ms. Fndoyan is acknowledging them.
Okay, thank you, bailiff.
You're welcome.
Okay, it says here that you do have damage to your bathroom, and that was $150, I believe. Okay, you also brought some other photographs. I'd like to look at those. Is this the ceiling or?
Yeah, that's the ceiling of like where the door frames to go outside. I've
Her
caught
children-
her child hanging from it.
This is what happened. Her daughter and my daughter, they close. You know, they play around. They flooded the bathroom.
How did they flood the bathroom?
I don't know how. They're kids. I stepped into the kitchen to go make something to eat. I come back, the whole house is flooded.
They're kids, but be a parent. Parent your child.
I had to feed your child though, right?
Parent, my
It's
child
Florida.
can feed herself. Parent your children.
Your daughter does not feed herself.
Miss Fndoyan, you were watching the kids when they flooded the entire house and the ceiling started to collapse. I see that you brought a photograph with you of a broken window.
Yes, ma'am.
Who broke it?
Her children, her 2 older kids.
How did they break the window?
Playing in the room.
Are you saying they threw each other through the window?
No,
How did the window get
they're
broken?
playing around
No.
in the room.
You know the
they're
little
playing
golf
around in my
balls?
child's room.
Listen,
they're
you're talking
pushing
too
it,
much. You don't even
shoving
know
it,
what's going on.
they're
One
pulling
at a
it,
time.
shoving,
Ladies.
And
One at a time. Do you have any proof or evidence that you paid for any of these damages?
No, it just goes straight onto the bill. It's miscellaneous.
Okay, do you have any bills showing where you were
Unfortunately,
charged
I
any of
didn't
these
bring
amounts?
that. No, ma'am.
So let me ask you, Ms. Fndoyan, because when I listen to Ms. Gonzalez, she's making your kids sound like Bebe's kids. So
They're not. They're really not.
I'm trying to understand, you're here with the kids. Did you just let them run through the house and break windows and flood the house?
Maybe if you were home more often.
So tell me what
Busy trying to
happened.
make money to pay the bills you owe me.
Yeah, really.
Ms. Fndoyan, tell me what happened with your kids. Did they cause this damage?
No,
Did they contribute to the damage?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
Yes,
so
they did.
it's your testimony that yes, your kids did cause some of the damage, but you believe that the plaintiff's daughter
It takes
also
two to tango.
did. Okay, basically the kids were just being kids and wrecking the whole place. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, do you believe your daughter in any way contributed to
No.
any of the damage?
No,
So
my
you
husband
don't
is in
believe
the
she takes
military.
any responsibility at all?
I do believe that they were playing. Yes. My daughter is not a beast the way you want to mention her.
Judge Rhonda's verdict is next.
How did you wind up moving out of your
I
boyfriend's
couldn't take
sister's
it no more.
house?
I couldn't take it. I got my money. I got my everything situated. I had to do everything behind her back. She was jumping on. You don't understand. Every time I got like a little bit of money from food stamps, public assistance, she was on me the first of the month.
Well, yeah,
Every
probably
Tuesday.
because you
It's
weren't paying rent.
understandable.
I can see why she'd
It's
be on you.
understandable. I understand it. I had no problem to give her some. It's not a problem. My kids got to eat too.
So you decided, okay, I have enough money now, I'm moving out. Ms. Gonzalez, did you know that she was moving out?
No, she did it so sneaky. She waited for me to have a delivery, had her friend, a mutual friend, pick her up and dip and leave my house a wreck.
So you get home and the defendant's gone.
Gone.
And
She even took my pillows and blankets and everything.
Okay,
I bought them.
so I'm sure at this
course
point,
I'm gonna
Ms.
take everything I
Gonzalez,
bought.
you're just happy that she and her baby's kids are out of your house.
But they
Is
ain't
that
got
fair?
Yes, I mean, but I'm happy,
Look
but
where we
like,
at now. She ain't happy.
And I'm
She's
sure,
miserable.
Ms. Fndoyan, you are happy that you now have a place for your children to live.
Yes.
Ms. Fndoyan, the bottom line is you and your kids didn't have a place to stay, and Ms. Gonzalez, being family, out of the goodness of her heart, took you in.
I told
But
her
for
I will help.
her, you might have been on the streets with your 4 kids. So she took you in, she gave you a place to live, she laid down some rules, those rules weren't followed. And one of the rules that she gave you was she expected to be paid rent, which was only fair. You did pay half of it. It sounds
I
like
gave
you
her
have a
pieces.
job now, and it sounds like you're doing better financially. So you're going
Not
to
yet.
have to pay her the other 3 months of rent that you owe her, which is $1,350. Now, with respect to the damage to your home, I can't figure out which of the kids did what. It's really clear, though, that the kids were getting into a lot of mischief. There was a lot going on there. I don't have any receipts from you to really evidence any of the damage.
I do have an apology.
I do believe though that the bathroom being flooded, Ms. Fndoyan, that's something you never should have allowed to happen on your watch.
I offered to bring somebody to fix it, and she was like, no.
Well, don't worry, you're gonna get to fix it. We have a receipt showing in your itemization that the bathroom floor water damage was $2,500. Now, you don't have a receipt for that, and that seems to me to be a bit excessive for the damage that I saw, but I do believe that Ms. Fndoyan should have been watching the children more carefully. You know, kids will be kids, but flooding a bathroom is going a little bit beyond mischief. Ms. Fndoyan, you are going to have to do right by your family who took you in when you were down on your luck. You're doing better for yourself now, which is great. So you're gonna have to do right by her.
I have no issue.
And you are going to have to
no
pay
issues,
the,
then why you don't let me see the baby?
Settle down.
I'm ready to rule. Ms. Fndoyan, you're going to have to pay the back rent that you owe in the amount of $1,350. And I believe it is a judgment of this court that the reasonable amount of damage to the bathroom was approximately $750. I believe that damage could have been repaired for that amount. Therefore, it is the award of this court that the plaintiff will be paid $2,100 by the defendant. Judgment for the plaintiff.
think it was unfair. Now I have to sit here and I have to pay out of pocket the rest of the damage that she left me with.
When you sit there and you tell somebody you're gonna help them and you're gonna, look out for them, or you tell them don't worry about it, that plays a big role in somebody who doesn't have money.
Don't make the same mistake again with anyone else.
Oh, I won't. Not a problem. Never again. Got my own crib.
Good.